shit. Oops. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Can't believe I did that. Probably rookie mistake. Oh my gosh. So this is official. This is me going live right now on my page. I'm Tokyo. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So, you're going to get two versions of me, okay? You're going to get this version of me, which is like, just down to earth, car guy, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes we'll be here. Sometimes we'll be at an event. And sometimes we'll be in my garage, right? Other times, um, it'll be dark, right? And you'll barely be able to see me. So what are we doing here? We are here just live. It's just like the description says, I will read the description. Okay. Obviously, going live is hard to do. But what I find is, let me see if I can turn this up a bit. It's gains. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, fuck it. So, it's frustrating as hell that it takes so long to go live because it's like you want to do it right. I want the lighting to be right. You want the setting to be right. You want everything to look good. There's a mess of clothes back there. I forgot this. There's a mess of clothes back there, right? Like the dresser's not cleaned off. There's stuff, blah 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 blah. Like there's so much, right? But at the end of the day, like I have to do something. You can't just sit. You can't just sit on like ideas, and that's what I've been doing for a long time. And so this is kind of making fun of like that car guy with the projects in the garage that he has all the tools for it, he has all the parts for it, and yet he does nothing. Why is that? What's going on with that? What the hell's going on? So with that, let me see here. Choose who can participate. I don't know. Anyways, I don't expect anybody to be on this video. I'm just gonna go live. I'm gonna rift and kind of make fun of myself in the process because what the fuck? Why did it take so long for me to do this and create this, or just do it? There's nothing to create. I'm just sitting here, right? So, it really is like you're in your head. You're like, okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's not on the 7-day calendar. First off, there's no tomorrow. There's just right now, right? There is no tomorrow, right? So what is that? Like, why? Why do we put shit off till tomorrow? And that's because I find that for me, actually, by the way, you think I should, oh yeah, I should change this, to more car shit. Let me change that. I actually have a channel perfect. Let's see here. History, library. Let's go to playlist and watch later. Boom. Let's see. Who's this? No, where is it? I have a really badass watch later that's like all drift shit. So let me go back. Let me change out of here. It's not in this one. It's in this one. Un momento, por favor. All right, let's go. Boom. There it is. Perfect. Yes. Some old school, like early 2000 shit. Drifting stuff, I'm curious. I hope I don't get in trouble for like having that on here and like, oh, you have to pay, blah, blah, blah. Right. Let me go ahead and close this a bit. It is just whitewashing, washing out that vibes. Bring down the light a little bit. I don't know if that helps. Sun setting. It'll be dark in a minute. Give it a second, guys. So, Um, wh- why? Why is it hard to take action? Well, I find that taking action can be more complicated due to what we believe is required to take action. The setting, the ability to execute and succeed. So then the opposite, which is failing, right? Um, Sucking on a coffee bean. Anyways, the parameters to create success, right? For your execution for that project. And it's like, okay, I don't want it to fail. Or for instance, if you have that project car and you're like, all right, bet this Saturday we're gonna make the thing happen. And then like you find out that that part that you need to finish that project is gonna be here Tuesday and it's the weekend that you're trying to work on it. So you're like, well, we're gonna put it off till Tuesday because that part that I need will be here. That doesn't mean you can't tear into the car and get to a halfway point, right? So then that's frustrating as hell because it's like, all right, I, you know, so then what you do is you put yourself one, two, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You put yourself 4 days behind because you feel more comfortable waiting for that part, right, to be there before anything else. And it's like, what are we doing, guys? Why? So you make excuses in your head to procrastinate, and procrastination feels good. Let me play the be devil's advocate here. Procrastination feels good. There's a sense of like when you're able to just put something off and you justified it in your head like I am justified in putting this thing off because I know that I can't do this, that, and the other. It's a horrible freaking feeling, man. It really is. So like even me going live right now, me my inner self, the self doubts like, what's the point in going live? Because I don't have anything to present, right? I would rather go live when the race car is done. I'd rather go live when I'm at an event. The problem becomes you're sitting on ideas. You have a channel that's dying, right? That you know because you believe that there are parameters required to click a button. So today I clicked the button as a way to test the waters on what it's like to go live. I've never been live on YouTube. I just know that it's a really cool way to organically reach people, right? um, Before without like having to pay for it. Like it just kind of randomly pops up for people to check out, right? This channel only has like 100 people that followed it, and I say that because I haven't done shit with it in like, God, like 7 years, right? But I watched a friend of mine create a channel, and it was called the Purple Pill, and so I got on there with her, and we talked about dating dynamics and red pill shit, blue pill shit, right? Female perspective, my perspective, and riffed it. You know what I mean? So that over a course of a month turned into um, like I want to say just under 1,000 views. Was it views or follows? I can't remember. But we would go live for like on a weekend on a Saturday. Like we'd go live for like an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, and freaking we get some cool people to go in and comment and be like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Some interaction. By week 3 we saw some really cool interaction. So um, I figured I could try this out. Worst case scenario, nobody hops on here, nobody responds, nobody interacts, right? But I did it. I did a thing. I finally went live, right? And it's like cool. So you went into that garage and you started working on that. You undid a bolt, right? You went into the garage, you undid a bolt, right? If you're tearing apart your motor, you took the valve cover off. You took the valve cover off. You did something, you know? Even it's like I remember back in the day when I was trying to go to the gym, and so I would just crawl my way to the gym parking lot, right? Like I would drive up there because I didn't want to go to the gym, so I would go to the gym parking lot, and I'm like, all right, I got to the gym parking lot. That's a start. It sounds pathetic, right? But hey, people got their demons, man. It's weird. So eventually, I got to where I was like, all right, cool. Let me just go inside. Let me just go inside, right, and just do something, right? So you don't have a game plan. You just go in there and you just find some dumbbells and just do some basic shit, right? And and maybe you're in there for a minute. Maybe you're in there for a minute or two. And sorry, maybe you're in there for like 10 minutes, 30 minutes tops. But you're like, I did something. I'm out. I can't get in the headspace. I'm out. Same thing with the project car. You did what you could. Now you're out, right? You lifted the valve cover. Boom, you're out. So to me, that means something. Um, that means something. And I think that by forcing ourselves as men to get uncomfortable with failure, sorry, fuck, as men to force ourselves to get comfortable with failure will give us the ability to do more. I think that, and I'm speaking from my own like narrative, okay? Like I'm not no guru or anything like that. If I can get comfortable with failure, it would be easier to take action because the perfectionist, which is formed from fear of disappointment and high pressure narratives in early youth, right? Comes a high expectation for one's performance, output, and positioning socially, competitively, career wise, whatever that might look like, right? It's tough. It can be tough. So it's like, all right, bet. How do we do this? How do we shape this? How do we um, what is that? Well, the first thing that one has to do is just you have to break down why am I like this? Why is this a thing? What is going on here? Um, I think that when we begin to ask the question why, whether it's car related or personal, we can start seeking answers. We can start digging deep. When you diagnose a car that won't start, and you understand how a car works, you have three things. You have spark, you have fuel, right? And I'll say timing or air, right? Um, one and timing also can incorporate like the ECU, right? Excuse me. Timing can incorporate the ECU, firing positioning, blah 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 blah. Relays, modules, fuses, right? Electrical. I mean, well, obviously that's spark, but still, like because we're talking like not carbureted shit. Because I'm an import guy, okay. Not to say that there weren't carbureted imports, but I mean, import cars were cool like in the '90s. Yes, there are cool cars from the '80s, like the fucking Supra, right, or super pre early '80s Celica Supra, shit like that. You got the Datsuns and all that. Sure, sure, sure. But just let's keep it 91 and above, okay. Um, you got your distributor or with the cap and rotor. Eventually, we got two coil on plug, right? So, but all that has some kind of signal or electric signal that goes to it. So we can diagnose if a motor won't run. We know it's at least three things, right? Your fuel, ignition, or timing, right? Um, and timing also incorporates, everything else. So with the narrative of perfection, right? I find that that too is no different than um, we okay. Where's a perfectionist? We can break that down into categories. Perfection, doing it right on an extreme level, is fear of doing it wrong. The opposite. Um, Extreme expectations, right, on oneself. Um, Outcome dependent, right? Because if I don't do it right, then it won't go right, or this won't happen, or I won't be glorified, whatever, blah blah blah. Um, what's the other one? But you see, I mean, we'll just stick with those three. But where do those categories of diagnosis come from? Going internal, right? When it comes to taking a motor apart, seeing what happened to a motor, right? Maybe it starts, but it's making a weird noise, like you got a rod knock or something like that. You have to start taking the motor apart. You have to start going internal, right? Why? Because to fix a rod knock, if you've got a bad bearing, right, you eventually you have to take the motor apart and replace the bearing. Well, that's in the bottom of the engine, right? So you got a lot to go through. You got an oil pan that needs to come off. You got to gusset, you or like the main skirt, whatever it's called, that helps with balance. You got to crank, right? You got the bottom part of the rod. So it's so rude to yawn in a live video. Sorry, guys. So you have a lot that goes into that, right? And so it's like, okay, looking at the components that you have to mess with just to get to that bearing that's bad, right? You've gone through a lot. So then what do we typically do? Well, if I'm going to take the motor apart, I'm going to go ahead and send the crank off and just get it kind of looked at, get it balanced, make sure it's good, or, get it rotated. I'm going to go ahead and replace the rods. The rods are old or whatever case may be. I'm going to go with the stronger rod because I'm going to get boosted, right? Or, I'm going to go ahead and replace the pistons. No, better yet, just to get better compression, we don't even have to make it a big motor. Compression numbers are a little low. I'm going to go ahead and change out the rings, just replace the rings on the pistons. Like that's basic shit. Hey, Patrick, thank you. Nice first comment. So, like when you go internal on a motor, right? While you're in there, you're already going to do basic shit, and it's not basic to the average person, but for us car guys, it's basic. It's basic maintenance. Like while you're in there, let's go ahead and replace the bearings. Let's go ahead and replace the main, right? The rear main, front main. Let's do these basic things to go ahead and give the engine a new life, right? Also, while we're in there, let's go ahead and use ARP head studs, right? Because if you do boost it, now you have the capacity to handle the boost. I mean, there's just so much, okay, that goes into that. So, now, how does that correlate back to me procrastinating on not producing content? Well, so while we're in there questioning where the perfectionism comes from, why don't I just do the fucking thing? Why am I afraid to fail? As we are in there asking questions, you begin to say, well, while I'm in there, why, you start asking other questions about yourself, right? Sometimes this requires meditation. I'm not going to get too woo woo because I'll lose a lot of you guys, but sitting with yourself, if there isn't an answer that immediately comes up, because you got to be honest with yourself, you can't fucking bullshit yourself, right? Then that would start to open up doors like, you know what, like, um, I've 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 been afraid of judgment. Okay, cool. I'm afraid of judgment. Okay, that's well. So we're afraid of judgment. So we're reliant on people's validation of us to make a decision, to make that decision a correct decision for perfection. So perfection is breaking down into I'm afraid of being judged. Okay, boom. I'm dependent on the outcome in my favor, right? So that everybody loves me and praises me and says I did a good job. Okay, cool. What is that? Okay, because I've never known what it's like to feel good about doing a good job. Okay, cool. So when you're a kid, you're held to such a high expectation that no matter what you did, it wasn't good enough. Like we start getting these layers. Like while we're in there, let's address this. Oh shit, let's go deeper. Oh shit, let's go deeper. And next thing you know, you're your own therapist, right? Not to say that you should go see a therapist. By all means, try it out, see if it works for you. But I mean, this shit all correlates. It all fucking correlates. Okay, like Okay, so right now in my garage there is a RX-8. Um, and it didn't take long for me to get the parts for it. The clutch went out. Okay. And actually, it wasn't even the clutch. The throwout bearing that comes on the RX-8 factory is like plastic bullshit. I don't know why they do it, but it's plastic and it goes bad over time and it falls apart. It was in four pieces. So by the time I took it all apart, I was like, oh, no wonder why the clutch isn't engaging. It's destroyed. Plus, the clutch was destroyed. So when I replaced all that and did a lightweight flywheel, well, here's the thing, that car sat on jack stands for 2 weeks with parts all there, ready to go. I sat that car for 2 weeks on jack stands and did not touch it because I didn't feel like doing it. Well, why didn't I feel like doing it? It's an RX-8, and I've never worked on an RX-8 before. I know the Angry Panda, which is my drift car. I know that. I know the K24DE, but I don't. And so they're both Japanese cars. They're both rear-wheel drive. They're both Japanese cars. They're both rear-wheel drive, right? Um, so what's the deal? Well, with RX-8, the bolts are kind of weird. Okay, no, that's not that's not a good enough excuse. So like when we start looking at it really, and I looked at videos on how to. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, like 5 or 6 on how to replace the clutch, and two of them are actually really really good because they show you bolts that you would not have thought were there or known that were there. So it's really really great education. I should probably spit out this bean before I fucking choke on it. So there are um, there are videos out there to help me with that project. So why the fuck did I sit on it for 2 weeks with no car? I could have had a car 2 weeks sooner, right? So I ordered Ubers to just go everywhere because I was too lazy to do the damn thing, right? Blows my mind. So here's the thing. Another example. Um, and it ended up not being that hard, bro. The transmission is just as light as a transmission out of the KA, out of the 240SX, just as light. Bell housing, super easy. Drain the bell housing, put it on your chest. Because remember, I'm in my garage. I don't have a fancy garage. So put it on my chest, you shimmy down, roll it off you. No big deal, right? Um, why did that take me so long to do it? So one of the things I recognized is that my brain over inflated the harshness of the job. I thought that I was afraid of doing something that was irreversible and questioned whether or not I should take it to a shop. Well, any shop that does a clutch job these days are going to charge you about $1,000 because labor is way too damn expensive, and you know prices for shit has gone up because of inflation, whatever. It's just crazy, right? So, um, you know, so another example. My emergency vehicle, embarrassing as it is to say, is a 97 Escort wagon. Okay. So that thing I had sitting at a buddy's house for about 2 months and had a feeling that the issue with the car was the timing belt. That those cars, when that tensioner on the inside of the motor, and I say the inside because there's an outside tensioner for your accessory belt. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the tensioner for the timing belt. That can go bad, and it did. Mine was seized. So then the timing belt just shredded itself. Okay. And when those timing belts go, but first off, thank God it's a non-interference motor, right? So there's no bent valves or any bullshit. Two, it's a rubber belt. So when it went bad, there's no kabloom. It just stopped. It just like I was on the highway in Neosho heading towards Noel, Missouri, and just the motor cut off. Still had power, still had radio, car was rolling. There's no noise, no like there's no warning of this happening, right? And so after talking to a couple of old heads, they're like, yeah, your timing probably went bad, right? And so this happened last year, like in April, okay? So the car sat on the side of the highway for about a week. Then I finally towed it to the river property that is down there, and it sat down there for almost a little over a year. And then I finally got it brought back this year. And so, um, in the process of bringing it back, I brought it to my friend's house. Then um, it sat there for 2 months. Now, I was already told what had happened to it, what the possibility was of it being not running. Parts, parts for the rebuild on the timing chain with water pump, $70 through Amazon. And the new, oh shit, the new starter. I was supposed to send that starter back, and I forgot to do that. It's probably too late. I got to check my receipt. Because I ended up not needing a starter. The starter was fine. An animal, while it was parked in the grass at the river property, chewed on the wires for the starter, and it wouldn't start. So that got that figured out. Fucking animals, like if it's not edible, why the fuck are you chewing on it? So dumb. Anyway, so um, but for $70, car started right up. Timing was a bitch because I couldn't figure out what the dot was for timing. And it turns out that both the sprocket behind the crank pulley and the cam pulley both have like these weird little pointy pieces that go towards that are for top dead center. And it's a single cam, so like it's super fucking simple, right? And as soon as I got that done, we're set. We're good to go. So that again, I felt like an idiot for how simple the issue was and how overcomplicated I made it. And here, overthinking the issue at hand. And so I think that's the same thing with this. So, for instance, one would say, "Oh, this is embarrassing," right? Go live for 30 minutes. You got one comment, one interaction with somebody. That means that you're nobody, right? That means that you don't matter. Da 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 da. Like, so you have like this big societal expectation of how things should be, and then you're like, "Oh, I don't matter." Da 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 da. So you can spiral out of something, right? And be like, "Oh God, like, what am I doing? Like, this is stupid. I should stop because it's not being well received." And so it's like, nah, man, like you got to commit to shit. Like we owe it to ourselves because guess what? Had I have started doing this when I had the idea of automotive motivation, which was like back in 2022, 2023, if I had started doing it then, this channel would be a channel, right? Now, see, you see what I did there? A channel, which is saying that channel's not a channel without 10,000 followers. A channel is whatever you make it, right? A channel is a page that has content on it. That's a channel. Whether or not somebody watches it or not, it is a channel. And it's getting back into that mindset of not being outcome dependent. For me, what matters now is doing it for like for my son, right? So like, um, if I have a kid in the future, right? They can be like, come back to this, and if I'm dead, they can be like, oh, I can watch my dad on here, and you know, um, just kind of live, like learn about me through these videos. So now it's like archiving, who I am as a person for them to watch in the future, right? So whether or not it gets hype notoriety and all this stuff, it's a matter of, hey, like, you know, there is an opportunity for them to learn who I am through the content, right? So, and that's huge because again, talking about stuff like this, about inner workings of the self using card narratives, which by the way, I'll probably just go live on my other channel, um, RPM by Tokyo, because that way it's a fresh start and it can actually be dedicated to that. This channel will be dedicated to, God damn it, this channel will be dedicated to the drifting stuff. And when I go to drift events and stuff like that, I'll start uploading things. I have a lot to put on there. But for now, uh, I just wanted to at least go live, try it out. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never gone live on a PC before. I usually use my phone for everything, but I bought this camera, God, like last winter to do all this shit, and I just sat on it. I bought this microphone, when I bought the computer to do this stuff, and just sat on it. And it's like, what are we doing? Why do we buy all this stuff, the second monitor, and this, that, and the other, just to sit on it and not do what we said we were going to do? Um, so with that, just like the project car in your garage, what are the lies that you're telling yourself that's keeping you from moving forward on getting it done? And is it manageable, or is it completely bogus? Is the lie inside your head that you're telling yourself a narrative of preconceived notions from your past as a kid? Or is it really logistical, in which there are things you're limited on doing due to lack of tools or knowledge? And if so, if we can measure the excuse or reason, if it's a lack of tools, what are the tools required? What does it cost for you to save up and buy them? If it is a lack of knowledge, are there any friends that you have that are experts in that field? Are there any videos that can show you how to do what it is that you need to do? It's that simple. It's that simple. And from there, we get out of our own fucking way and we start doing things. We start making it happen. So um, I feel good about this, you know. Um, to just do it, get it done, just get it out the way, feel good about it. Um, and maybe this will give birth to adding content that I've been sitting on for a while. I've recorded all types of videos that need to be edited, and then it's like, oh God, I gotta edit. I don't feel like editing, right? So you see how that works? Like, just so, yeah. But going live, what's nice is that it doesn't require editing. I don't need to edit this. I just go. We just do it, you know. So, uh, yeah. And then like I can be distracted by watching the drift shit through my own live on a TV. It's quite nice. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. I think that's all I got, man. I feel good about this. I'm fucking hungry, and it's probably rude to eat while on live. This isn't a, what's that shit called? But bang something, mukbang. Yeah, this is a mukbang. That's not what I'm here for. So, you guys be blessed. My name's Tokyo. I'm out of here, and we'll see you next time. And I gotta figure out how to end this end stream. Okay, peace.